This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. I want to share 3 words that I heard recently, and it made me think. And it's so true, at least in my thoughts. I want to get her feeling on this, but comparison steals joy. Think about that for a second. Comparison steals joy. How many times, even without even being fully present, you're scrolling on your social feed, you see what somebody's doing, they're on vacation, you think to yourself, oh, must be nice for them. I'm slaving away over here. Right now I can't afford a vacation. And as soon as you see that and you start doing that comparison, you're taken away from, your tank of good, your tank of joy and happiness. What if you flipped it and said, good for them? I'm happy for them. We're going to talk about that, the ego, the fear that's involved, all of this. And she's got a lot of insight, I'm sure, as a Galactic Shaman, Reiki master, animal healer, sound healer, and so much more. So great to have our professional of the year, Shayna Blackmar, back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well. So what do you think, those 3 words, comparison steals joy? Is that true?
I agree with it. Just like the example you said of scrolling through social media, that's the feeling that comes up is comparison, maybe judgment, things like that aren't helpful at all, right? And, there's a whole other side of that people are just posting the good. That's not the whole picture. It's not even close to the whole picture of what's going on, or, maybe how long it took for them to save for that trip, or, whatever else was involved in them even being there. So yeah, comparison definitely can lead down a slippery slope.
And especially with social media. Thank you for saying that. In that people post what they want you to see.
Right.
This 100%. It's never, this is my entire life. Even reality shows, housewives, blah, 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 blah. It's edited. It's edited, everybody. I've seen them. I've worked on some. Peel back the curtains. Even some of the shows that you think are legit, a lot of stuff is reenacted for a certain outcome. So you're seeing what the producer wants you to see. Same thing with social media. And to your point, Shayna, they could have been saving for 10 years for that vacation. They could have a medical challenge and figured, I need to go now, or whatever it might be. Is it good to take that negativity that comes up, like, good for them, and flip it and really say, what, I'm happy for them. Put a positive comment. Hey, good for you. Do you feel that if you start doing that and create that momentum and just that positivity, that eventually it will come back to you?
Yeah, it's very empowering too, because you're totally shifting so many things when you do that. You're shifting your vibration, you're shifting your timeline, you're shifting your energy, you're shifting what you want to experience as well. Like you said, it'll come back, because when we're saying or thinking something positive or something loving or kind, whatever, however, feels good or compassionate, sending understanding to another person, then that fills us up. That is a higher vibration that will then magnetize higher vibrational experiences to ourselves. And it magnifies that feeling, that frequency, and it's just going to then help other people too.
I guess we should say, with comparison, you have competition, right? That's, competition can be good, but a lot of times it's comparison going on there as well. What can you tell us about the competition side of our lives?
Yeah, I mean, competition, it tends to create either inflated ego
Mm,
or the opposite of really fostering and increasing insecurities and feelings of unworthiness. Again, neither of which are helpful, and neither of which are helpful moving forward if we want to rise up in our own journey, either personally or as a collective, as a planet. Then we have to move from ego into the heart, from fear back into the heart, from fear back into love to to keep rising up in frequency because ego is fear, basically.
I want to go there in a second, but I just had a flash in my mind. I spoke with a business coach last year, and I still remember what he said. And he uses analogies of the game, football, that kind of thing. And his number one rule in his playbook is tell everybody how you do it. There is no secret sauce. Don't like hide these things. He goes, share it with everyone, and you'll see yourself prosper. I think there's a lot of credence in that, where you're shifting into a collaboration mode as opposed to the competition mode. Yeah, we got to crush them. We got to. There's enough for everybody if you take that mindset. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that. I don't know that I've ever heard that from um, someone in the sports world, like super competitive world that's just rampant all the time because that's just that world.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But yeah, shifting into collaboration is beautiful. We're all here to work together. It's just whether or not we choose to do that.
Mm. It's I always believe, even with social media, stuff we're talking about here, I don't put anything on social media unless there's something for somebody else. I will never put up, look at me, I'm on vacation, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. If there's something that's really beneficial, let's say you go to a restaurant. Hey, I just want to let you know they have a 2-for-1 special. It's insane. Like this, the carrot cake here, unbelievable, and nice people. As long as it's somebody you can use it, I'm not even going to do it. I looked last night. I was like, well, I haven't posted in a while, and I said to myself, well, I don't have anything for everybody, so I'm not going to do it unless there's a reason. Should it be that way? I'm not saying I'm right, but should you have the eye on the greater good for everyone when you do anything in life?
Ideally, but everyone's on their own journey.
Sure.
I mean, I love that, and I do that as well. I tend to keep personal things private and share things that I think will help. Um, Even if it's just helping one person,
Sure.
that's great. Hopefully it helps more, but I guess it ultimately doesn't matter. The idea is to help, and that's the intention, which will, pay it forward, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Well, sure. You shouldn't do these things waiting for a return. Um, and
Right.
this brings to mind this phrase. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. That I find myself in the last like 5 years piloting by. I didn't make this up. Some say it was Shakespeare. Some say it was Bob Marley. Either way, it's 3 things: love everyone, trust few. Hate to say that, but that's my experience. And do the right thing for all. You could say, well, yeah, I did the right thing to benefit yourself. Do the right thing for the greater good. I'm not saying anybody agree with that whole statement, but dissect it. What are your thoughts there? Love everyone, trust few, and do the right thing for all.
I love that. Actually, I've never heard it, but I love it. Let's see. Love everyone. Yes, but that doesn't mean necessarily being weak or sappy. Like, as I like to use the example of being a parent because that is to me something that everyone can relate to, either if you have kids or obviously you were a kid. And love includes boundaries,
Mm.
right? You
Yeah.
can't just say yes all the time. That's not love. That's
Yep.
being a pushover.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
giving
Yep.
your
Or
power away.
totally, or an enabler.
Um,
And And your kids want the boundaries. They won't admit it, but they want it.
Yeah, they need them.
Sure.
Absolutely. Like that helps them learn how to navigate not only for themselves, but the world. And so love with boundaries is huge. And that's how you not only love and honor yourself, but love and honor others. Um,
And even the love everyone, I look at that when we say everyone, you could walk into a Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, a latte, whatever it is, and be genuine about this, authentic, taste it and say to the barista, just want to let you know this is like the best I've had in a long time. And if you're feeling it, and by the way, your hair looks great. I don't know, fits your face, whatever it is, but be authentic about it. But you're showing in a small way a little bit of love, where many of us are quiet. We don't say anything. We don't want to be judged as, oh, the creeper over there. Just the way society is now. But that's where I look at the love everyone. Yeah, you're going to love your kids and put up those boundaries, but the stranger, hold the door, maybe for an extra 3 seconds because they're walking up the path, whatever it might be, showing some kind of love there.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all, again, like here to work together. So let's brighten someone else's day. And who knows, that may be the best thing in that person's day,
You never know
showing
what
them
they're.
that little bit of kindness.
Thank you
Yeah,
for saying that, because you never know what they're going through. And I'm going to say this: that one nice comment could save their life. They may be going through such a hard time, and oh my God, there was a stranger that was nice to me, and all right, I feel better now. I feel much better. Um, this is my sticky point: the trust few. I hate to even include that in that call it a mantra. Um, just in my experience, you got to be careful who you trust. What are your thoughts there?
that's been my experience as well. And what I've come to understand as part of this journey on Earth and in this, you know, reality that we're in, that um, what's so important is learning discernment and not just giving our power away. And so part of that is learning who to trust and not just necessarily trusting openly, but, relationships are two-way streets, whether it's a partner or a friend or, coworker, whatever it is. And both parties need to earn trust. They need to earn space in your sacred circle in your heart. And so, yeah, I think it's part of just learning discernment.
Hmm. Yeah, which takes a journey. It takes,
Yeah.
you learn things along the way, and why you should trust or not trust or be more careful. I don't want to say don't trust, but just be a little more careful and do the right thing for the greater good. I guess self-explanatory there. Not self-serving, but with an eye on others. You mentioned
When we
ego.
don't
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, we don't need to necessarily, I think part of that is not sharing everything in your life with everyone you meet um, or even people who you consider friends, but may not be close friends. You don't know yet if you could trust them. And it's not necessarily that the other person is bad or um, has ill intentions towards you, but you don't know what that other person is going through. And if they haven't, if they still have a lot of work to do, they're going to unconsciously do things to hurt other people. So
Mm,
if you want to um, save yourself some some trauma and hurt, make sure you're sharing with trusted people who have, proven themselves to you.
well, I'm going to throw this to you. I've heard it before. Want your thoughts? Hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely. And like that's why we have to do our healing work. It's unconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. Um, yeah, and maybe we can get into this later or another episode, but forgiveness is so important, not only for what you do or um, if there's a specific person or interaction or experience that you're trying to work through, but also to forgive yourself for things that you've done to hurt other people consciously and unconsciously because you don't necessarily know, and vice versa, forgiving other people for hurting you consciously and unconsciously because they more than likely have no idea. Not all
Yeah.
the time, but a lot of the time.
Oh, in my experience, people that hurt other people either won't admit that they have stuff from their past, or they're just not even aware, or they don't even care. And it could be, I don't want to judge anybody, but it could be very clear. I call it connecting the dots to what somebody does or did, tying back to their childhood. They might not even see it, but they're doing it, and you got to meet them where they are. Be careful about the trust thing if needed, and let them figure it out.
Yeah, wish them well on their journey and go about and do your thing.
Yeah. Well, the forgiveness thing, we're going to put a pin in that one. It's a whole podcast right there.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
you mentioned, Shayna, you mentioned ego. And that word, I think, gets a bad rap over time. When you were younger, I'm sure you heard, oh, look at them, look at their ego. Oh, they're full of themselves. We all have ego, right? Let's where do you want to start? Let's go with ego, because you had mentioned that it essentially is fear, right?
Yeah, and it serves a purpose. Everyone has it again, in this reality, it serves a purpose of us creating our independence, figuring out who we are and what we want to do. So it does help us kind of give a little bit of drive, especially when we're younger. So in that sense, it serves a purpose. However, if it is left to run rampant, it will only cause you and others harm because it's coming from fear. So it does need to then be integrated back into the heart, back into love, and you can literally thank it. Thank you for doing your job. Your job is complete. Now we're gonna go from love from now on, kind of thing. Because uh, it is not capable of maturing because it's based on fear. And so if you want to grow and heal, then that includes emotional maturity and spiritual maturity, which means you have to check the ego or it's not possible.
Mm. So there's a healthy ego, and there could be a inflated ego. Like, I'm seeing it both ways, where the inflated ego is what I guess I referred to before, where somebody thinks they're more important than somebody else. They're defensive to criticism. Where if you got it in check, then you're aware of yourself. You got some resilience going on there, but you don't have to get that validation all the time from other people. You're doing your thing, and that's it. What about the fragile ego? Yeah, a lot of people, I've heard that term before. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I understand it more having had some experiences with some people who really have a fragile ego, and it when I see it now, it brings up so much compassion for me because someone whose ego is so fragile is just coming from really deep wounds. And it's this essentially a survival mechanism to cover it because, something happened, either a traumatic event or a stressful time period when they were younger. And, little Joe, whoever it is, um, as a child, didn't know how, couldn't deal with it. And so it gets whatever trauma that is gets stuffed down and the survival mechanism kicks in of basically faking things and then but not having the emotional maturity to come in and be able to handle any sort of and not even necessarily criticism but even just someone who's trying to help. They just
Mm,
may not literally be able to receive it because there's so much ego and walls put up that were intended to help and protect them when they were younger, but it's got to be taken back down for true healing to happen.
mm. You mentioned fear and ego. Can you give us the connection there?
Yeah, so think of someone or yourself when the ego flares up. It's um, like if someone disrespects me, say, um, I notice it more often than not comes up when I'm in the parent role, and you know. and you just feel disrespected, even though that's not necessarily the intention, but it really just flares up the ego, right? It's like instantaneous. It's really quite amazing. But later when I sit with it, I'm like, oh, wait, she wasn't trying to disrespect me, or he wasn't trying to disrespect me. It was just they're worried about what's going on in their life. And you know what? I'm fine. I am a good person, or, you know, I do good things, but that fear just flares up really fast sometimes. And you know, it's natural. We have to step back and just, you know, watch what I like to call the movie of our life. And if we step back and we can see it with neutrality, we can see the pattern, we can see the data, look for the lesson, and come back in and see, oh wait, I'm okay.
Mm.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
Well, yeah, we talked about social media before. That can be the ego at play again, when you post
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Um, how can you keep your ego in check? Keep it in balance. And I know you help people heal on an energetic level and more. So I know we're going in different territory here, but I think it all comes back to the same thing. If your ego is inflated, there's a reason for it from back in the day, and you need to heal from it. Any thoughts that
Yeah.
ways to keep it in check, in addition to
Yeah.
figuring out what's going on there?
I think initially the biggest thing is just being really brave and being open to seeing the truth of other people's actions, the truth of your own actions,
Hmm.
and just with love and compassion, because literally everyone is doing the best that they can. And you know, when we can look and see the truth, then we can, with love, with compassion, and we can love that little inner child or send love to the other person while, you know, setting boundaries if it's not a good situation. But we have to be able to see the truth of what's really going on. Because if you're not willing to see that, then it doesn't matter how many healing sessions you do, you're not
Hmm.
going to be able to get down to the root cause of what's going on.
Now, you had mentioned keeping it in check and the ego situation. Would you say the starting point is to really look at your past? It's my belief we all have things going on from our childhood. Even if you say, my childhood was fantastic. Okay, great. That's wonderful. But there are things there that you might not realize. Things that were said that one time that you got bullied, or that one time you had a pretty big blowout with a sibling when you were 7 years old, and now you got it, it's in you, and that you might pilot from that. You think really to improve your ego, it's working on that stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, that shapes our patterns, our thoughts, our behaviors, even our DNA. Like if there's a traumatic event, whether big or small, that affects our DNA. On top of that, we're working through our parents and our lineage and our ancestry. So 100% we have to go in and get down into the nitty-gritty, love it, clear it, wrap it up in love so that it all the fear can just literally dissolve.
Okay. How we mentioned fear, we mentioned love. How do you be intentional about choosing love over fear? We might not even know the difference sometimes, that fear is showing up because it shows up like with the ego. You might not even realize, oh, I'm just afraid. I don't even know that. How do you intentionally choose that love over fear?
Well, you just said it with intention. You know, you can say to yourself, like something along the lines of, you know, I tend to talk to source and my higher self, just it's kind of this running conversation all day. And so I'll say something along the lines of, okay, show me the truth. What do I need to learn here? Tell me
Hmm. Hmm.
what I could have done differently. You know, show me what, you know, what caused this? Why do I do this? Why is this happening? Um, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the watching the movie of your life is so, so helpful because if again, you're putting not a boundary, but you're giving some space between from what you're feeling and what actually happened. So it's easier to be neutral. And when we come up into neutrality, which is a much higher frequency from fear is, you know, 100 hertz, but neutrality is up at like 300 hertz, maybe 250. I need to look at my chart, but it's much, much higher. So when we're in this higher frequency, we're not afraid, we're calm, and we can see the truth. We can see the pattern and see what was going on. And then it's easy to be receptive. We can be
Mm.
like, oh, you know what? What I did really wasn't very nice. Or what someone else did to me wasn't very nice. But you know what? I see that they had a shitty childhood and they were doing the best that they could. Oops, sorry.
We're not governed by any federal agency. It's quite all
Okay.
right. We're real here. Um,
Okay, good.
that is, I mean, that leads us into forgiveness, which can be, again, another full podcast.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's as much as you want to grit your teeth when people do things to you, um, to understand where they came from and what they're dealing with. It's not blank and easy. It's because now you don't
Hmm.
condone what somebody did. And again, we'll talk about forgiveness another time, but we're just at this juncture, meeting them where they are. Like when you really know what somebody went through in their childhood and you figure out how that ties into the way they act and maybe hurt other people. Um, I don't even know how you do it. How do you accept it? It's not and not use it as an excuse, but just understand. I guess the word is understand, and then
Yeah.
and then and then release it.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you had said earlier, you set the intention, and if you're having a conversation with someone and you know it's going to be hard, you beforehand you can set the intention of, okay, please let us both speak and listen with love and compassion, so that will help guide that conversation towards something beneficial, towards moving forward, towards healing,
Mm,
towards something that's helpful. And it may be that, so let me back up a little bit. Everything that we experience in our life is for our own soul growth. We can't and shouldn't, because everyone's on their own journey, try and fix someone else. That is their job to do. Okay. So, say someone does something, super, super hurtful, and you're trying to have a conversation with them and they shoot back something just awful. That's the information that you needed. Okay, that's where they're at. We're done now. I'm gonna set my boundaries.
mm. You said something before that I forgot about. I do it occasionally. I'm not even sure I'm doing it right. I believe I'm echoing what others think and say, but ask. Ask the universe those questions. Am I doing the right thing? Why did I do that? Why did I react that way?
Yeah.
Um, can we talk about that? Because I forget to do it. I struggle with it. Where the answer comes from, how to ask, all of that stuff.
Yeah, curiosity is good. We need the more questions, the more information, the better, as long as you're coming from it, not from ego, because ego is I'm right. Ego is I need to know this because I'm right about my judgmental thought. That's unhelpful. But coming from curiosity, from a base of love and wanting more knowledge, more understanding, so that you can build more compassion, is
Mm,
an entirely different thing. And yeah, all we have to do is ask. We're on a free will planet, so angels, our guides, our light team, whatever you call it, source, God, um, can't intervene unless we ask. But they're literally there waiting for us to ask. They're not in time. You're not putting them out.
So let's really open this door and walk in. When you're asking, are you asking the universe, however one wants to define that? Are you asking your spirit guides? If so, who are these people? Jerry Seinfeld stole that line. Or are you asking the higher self of you to give you the answer? Or maybe a combination of all of these?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We all have a few angels and guides. Some have more, some have less, depending on their mission. Um, and you can talk to who you want. You can talk to your light team. You can talk to your higher self. You can talk to the universe. You can talk to all of them. Say, okay, whoever can help me best with this problem, bring it in. Because they have specialties as well. So,
So let's say you're dealing with a situation. Maybe you reacted a certain way. Now you're seeing that maybe it was fueled by a little bit of ego. You didn't see it at the time, but you want confirmation on that. Can you just throw that out there? Universe, show me why I reacted that way. Universe, in that situation, what will the outcome be? Feed me with information. Is it as simple as just throwing it up that way?
yeah, just ask, have a conversation. Let your light team and your higher self and source universe be your new best friend. You're just then able to connect into the cosmic consciousness, which has so much information, has everything, right? So whatever information you need, you can tap into. You just have to ask.
I believe that many of us don't know how to ask, even when it comes to praying. Many probably want to pray, not really sure how to
Like
do
having
it.
a conversation with your best friend. Hey, I need help with this. What do you got? It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be. The human's complicated, but
That's what
it's
I'm
not
saying.
complicated.
That's what I'm saying. And I think I've shared before that I've asked my mother for signs. There's another way. I've just asked, show me something. Show me that you're present. You got my back. That's going to be okay. I did that once and I got a very specific sign and I get them all the time. I actually did last night. Like, oh, it's been a while. It's been 7 years since you've been gone. And it's been like, a few months since I've gotten a sign. What do you got for me? So waiting for that one to show up, but they're everywhere. I mean, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but the password on my modem, ever tell you that one?
I don't think so.
So I asked my mom for a sign. I'm like, Mom, it's been a while. I get a new modem right underneath this desk. Saved $100. Thank you, Mom. And I flip it over, and the password is 4 digits dash her name dash 2 digits.
What? She's
Can't
right there with you all the time.
can't make it up. And I'm not to go into detail. The numbers around it kept adding up to 7 or 11. And I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I don't know, what's going on here. I even asked my daughter, teenager, what is this? What do you think? I know she's intuitive. And she says, maybe it has something to do with your dad. Now, my dad passed when I was 21. Didn't really know him that well. Parents got divorced when I was very young. So I forgot this. He passed on 7/11. And there's more.
Just got chills.
There's more to the story. I could keep going about where it started there and where it went with the 7/11 and more. But I asked for a sign and I got it. And you could be skeptical and say, come on, Steve. I can't make it up. Come here. I'll take a picture of the modem. I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
I didn't ask
Those
for
are
that
angel
password.
numbers.
7 and 11.
Well, anything where it's more than one number.
Okay. Yes.
Like
I got you.
11,
Like 2, 2, 3,
those
3.
are master builder numbers. 333, 777.
Yep.
And especially if you're seeing them in
Frequently.
repetition.
Yeah. And even the 11, And by the way, I'm just skim the surface here. Like this is your wheelhouse. I just understand that 11 is a good number. Um, I'm told with my name, if you add it up in numerology, it comes out to an 11, like the life path number. So the 11 does have more significance. And then I realized where I live, if you take the three digits in my address, adds up to 11. I don't know. I'm just looking at it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Call it breadcrumbs, call it signs. Like, oh, all right, duly noted. And,
Yeah.
and yes, I've played these numbers, and the password's right on my wall many times in the lottery. Haven't won anything yet, but I'm going to play them more. Why not? You have nothing to
That's
lose there.
awesome. Well, it's like little angelic I love yous or angelic high fives. We're here, we support you. You're on the right path, you know? These
Totally.
synchronicities, angel numbers, seeing feathers, seeing something that reminds you of, a loved one. They're all like these little, I like to call them angelic high fives because
I
it
love
just
that.
kind of gives you a boost, keeps you going. You're like, oh yeah, I'm on the right path. Okay, good. Great.
I'm right there with you. And if a feather, a butterfly, penny heads up, supports
Yeah.
you, does it for you, wonderful. Personally, I need specifics. I need more than
Yes.
that.
Animal guides, spirit guides.
Yeah,
Those are awesome.
that's
And those
fine.
come with specific messages if that's what you're looking for.
If you're open to receiving them.
Well, they're there. Yeah. You just have to look it up and tune into it. Yeah.
100%. You got to be, and I'm not looking for them. I see them.
Why not?
Well, let me, I guess maybe
Go for it.
qualify that. I'm not like a sleuth on the hunt for signs. I believe that I'm more aware of them. And then when I see them, but aren't they out around us all the time? We just don't see them.
Absolutely. And you can even set the intention of, okay, I'm open to receive signs. I'm open to receive animal messages. I'm open to receive synchronicities that show me I'm on my path or show me where I should go. And then there will be synchronicities that will, little pings, little things that light you up, things that only you and your light team will know will light you up, will understand.
Like that old phrase goes, ask and you shall receive. Just ask. What do you got to lose? I just thought of another one. I'm going to make it really quick. Go to the grocery store, buying something for my daughter. She had a cough and some other stuff. So I picked that up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get something sweet. And my mom always liked raspberry Danish, one particular brand. I buy it on her birthday every year. So I'm passing the end cap of something. I'm like, there it is. I pick it up. I buy it with everything else. Get in my car. I was vibing my mom. I was thinking about her. Get in the car. Turn my head. Now I could have missed this, but I happen to turn my head. There's a van right next to me. It's an HVAC company, and the company's name on the van is Rose-Mar HVAC. There's her name again. Now, if I wasn't open to just looking around, I wouldn't have seen that. And then I look at the clock in my car as I'm starting it up, and it says 9:42 p.m. when this all took place. I saw the van and everything. Her phone number was 942 digit, 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 digit. Coincidence? Maybe, but
She's like,
I
I'm
choose to.
here. I'm here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, just be aware. That's it. How do we find, in those challenges where, people make life a little challenging for you? How do you find compassion and understanding for others? How do you find that within you? How do you get into that mode of that as opposed to where we started today, competing and seeing those things that take away your joy, the comparison?
Yeah, well, first step is getting out of ego, out of being totally absorbed in the self and being willing and open to seeing the other person's perspective, the other person's point of view, seeing where they're coming from, and just seeing a wider viewpoint. Um, because with the ego, the blinders are on and you really can't see that much. You can't, the understanding is very, very limited. But if we step out, tell the ego, I love you, you're done now. Let's open up and learn some more. Let's find some compassion here. Um, and if we change our mindset like that, automatically more information is going to be available. And then you can, you know, just see more, understand more, which will then bring in compassion. And if you're really struggling, again, ask, like, please help me find compassion for this person. What? Because I'm really struggling with finding it right now. The person's a jerk or whatever. And maybe information comes in right then, maybe it comes later, and you go about your day. But it will come in if you ask for it. Absolutely.
Hmm. When was the last time you got a sign?
I mean, I get them all the time. I'm trying to think.
One that maybe stands out in your mind. One of the bigger ones. Could have been a little while ago. Could have been recent. Whatever.
Yeah, I was driving yesterday and I saw 333, 333, 333 on like four different cars as I was driving on their license plates. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm supported. All is well. It's all good.
Now, did
And
you
then
ask
that
as you were driving?
I didn't, but I was kind of struggling with something at the moment of feeling like, okay, how is this scenario gonna work out? And then I see 333 so many times, and that is like basically your angelic, your support team. You're there, they're there, they're supporting you. And I was able to just release it, surrender, and trust the universe, come back into trust and know that, oh, you know what? It's all going to work out. I don't need to control it or fix anything. This is what is going to happen. It's going to be okay.
So you found comfort in it. It showed up. You were thinking about something, and if you see 1333 or whatever it is, okay, but you saw a bunch, which just validates that I would think it was for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when I first learned about angel numbers, it was just this kind of what's going on? Like, why am I seeing all this? What is this? What does this mean? And so then I start looking it up, researching, looking at different websites and feeling into what each number means energetically, because everything is code when you get down to the nitty-gritty, right? So everything is number. Every number has energy, feeling,
Hmm.
sequence. So while it may seem woo-woo, anyone who is a computer programmer can tell you everything is code.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
numbers create things. Numbers have energy and numbers have meaning. And so
Right down to what you said
what you're
before, vibration and the frequency of the vibration.
yeah, exactly.
They're numbers.
Exactly. And when you're seeing these sequences, it's something specific that's activating in you to help you with what you need at that moment.
Um,
Sometimes it can even be your birthday, seeing that sequence, that number, that is an activation for you. Things like that. Maybe it's your phone number, your area code, whatever. Something you see over and over and over again that makes you feel good for some reason. May not necessarily understand it. It's specifically for you.
as you just said that, got a picture. My month and day that I was born, if you add them up, it's 11. And we go again with the
There you
11.
go. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I got to start, just adding some of this stuff up because,
I know. It's
right?
fun too.
You know what? It really
And there
is.
goes that curiosity. Just be curious, have fun with it.
Movie of your life. You mentioned that before. How do you do that? For me, I've done hypnotherapy where I've seen, signs of scenes of childhood like a movie. And I will say it's not scenes that I've never seen before in my mind, but through hypnotherapy, it was very clear, like watching a movie. And it was all came back to me. How do we do that? You mentioned it before. How can we see that movie?
I mean, hypnotherapy is great. You don't necessarily you have to do that. You can just literally imagine you're watching your life as a bystander, and and keeping that distance allows you to pan out and see more. See, okay, mom and dad came in here, and this was a pattern that repeated in childhood that made me feel really bad. Why did they act that way? Oh, I can go back and see them. That's what she experienced in her childhood, and what, her mom and dad experienced. And then you can literally see it's just cause and effect. A plus B equals C. um, I don't know if that explains
I,
it.
my
I
mind
hope it
is
does.
blown. I just had another. So I took my date of birth. I took the I took the day, I'm sorry, the month, the day, the year, added it up,
Oh, good.
comes out to 29, 29,
Which adds up to
11. The hell?
you're an 11.
I this is
You're a magical manifester.
well, that's wonderful, but I haven't seen all those things show up for my manifestation uh, exercises. Working
Well,
on it,
and
work in
that
progress.
my understanding too is 11 specifically is like, if you are an 11 or you have it in your birthday, is you're connected to very closely to the angelic realm. So we can
Hello,
say thanks, guys.
hello,
Help
come
me out
on.
here.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've never really asked. I've never really addressed the angelic realm. So maybe I need to do that. I just haven't.
Just ask.
Just you know what? That's what I'm learning here. Just ask. If you think this is woo, what do you have to lose? But if you ask, be open to it. My suggestion in my journey, and I think you're going to agree. Just look for it.
Yeah,
Just be.
and like, have fun. Just be curious.
We're so busy with life, devices, technology, 3 jobs, kids, family, and all of that. I believe that stuff gets in the way. It's just, we're worried about that stuff. It's here. We're not looking on the other side of it where you could see, that password with some information or something else present. Um, I think
Totally.
that meditation could help with that, right? To quiet the mind.
Yeah. Alone time, being in nature, um, taking a shower, just allowing yourself to switch gears. You don't have to be on the to-do list or in go mode all the time. Society may want you to, but it's your choice.
All right, you mentioned it. I love this. You mentioned things, and I'm like, all right, let's talk about that. Um, Taking a shower. Now, a shower can be just a shower, but a shower can also be a way to energetically cleanse you, as I understand it. What else is great about a shower?
Yeah, you're clearing your energy field of other people's stuff. And then, of course, water's liquid crystal. You can program it and work with it, and literally just, if you're struggling with something, whether it's um, maybe grief or sadness or worries, just you can send it to the water and ask the water to, fill you up with light to heal your wounds. You work with it again in collaboration. Um, so it can be a really beautiful healing experience in just your 5-minute shower.
I never thought of it that way. That water is liquid crystal.
Mhm.
Wow. That like reframes everything for me. It really does. And there's been times recently where I get in the shower and I'm like, I'm out in 1, 2 minutes, get it done, got to go. I'll sit there, I'll stand there, and it's a weird feeling. Like I have thoughts, I find comfort. I don't want to leave the shower. I'll stay.
Yeah, take another minute and just enjoy it.
What's going on there? Why would one feel that? It's almost like you're getting a hug, and
Yeah.
it's like, all right, another minute. I know I got to get going. Another minute. I got to get out of here because the smoke alarm is going to see the steam vapor and set it off. Silly stuff like that. But there's something magical, and I haven't put my finger on it.
I think it's multiple things going on. Is like you said, you mentioned it feels like a hug. It does. It's healing, and the water is literally there helping you, and you can feel that. We are feeling beings. Um, and and then there's also the energetic component of the cleansing, the lower frequencies being rinsed away. And so you're kind of filling back up with higher frequencies, and that feels good.
Hmm.
Um, and you're literally sensory feeling, feeling the water on your body. They're working here helping you.
What about the temperature of the water? Like I find comfort in the heat, that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a personal preference, but as far as um, the more healing as possible when our nervous system is relaxed, and our nervous system is going to be relaxed in either warm or hot temperatures. Cold makes us constrict, right? So not that a cold shower or going back and forth, if you're doing some, there's different plunge things that people do that's great for inflammation, but when you're really calming and opening the nervous system, you need warmth.
Hmm. I don't think this is the stuff we don't think of. We're just taking a shower. But when you're intentional, so I spent more time in the shower occasionally. I'm intentionally wanting to get something from it. Not about cleansing your body, although energetically, yes, maybe. But there's just something there, and I can't put my finger on it. But it's just I mean, I have some friends, women that say they take a bath. Bath's great. I love a bath. I can't do that. I'm just like I have no patience for that. It's just not my thing. Um, it'd be great to light a candle and a glass of wine and chill on that. But it's just I'd rather just stand there and just meditate with the warm water, the steam, and then hold that as long as possible.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Wow. How does somebody connect with you? And I know some of this is woo, but if it's making sense, even, seeing signs, asking for signs and that, what's the best way to start with you?
You can find me at my website. It's vurusha.com, Vurusha, or on Instagram, Shayna Blackmar Healing.
And just for everybody, just to be clear, Shayna, Shayna, Blackmar, Blackmar. You've told us before the name Vurusha. I want everybody to know what it means, but I got to tell you, when you say it, there's something energetically positive about it, and I can't put my finger on it. It's memorable. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but where does that come from?
It's a Sanskrit word that means higher consciousness, and also sun, which is like in the sky, which is higher consciousness. So, yeah, I think that's why I connected with it when I first found it, and maybe why it feels so good. It's like, oh yeah, higher consciousness. That's what I want.
Yeah, and you probably went through a bunch of names, and when that one showed up, it probably resonated, right?
Exactly. I was like, ooh, that one feels good.
Vurusha.com. Start a conversation. You offer so many different ways to help somebody move their life forward within healing, whether it's energy, Reiki, sound, all the different modalities. Thanks for being here today. Learned a lot, validated a lot too, and I didn't know I was really an 11, like an 11. Crazy. Wild. All right. We will catch up soon. Thank you again.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.